This is the Josh Widdicombe Show. Good morning, Neil.
Good morning, Josh.
How are we?
I'm not too bad, thank you very much.
How do you feel about we as a collective pronoun?
Fine.
Good. Okay. Good week? No?
Yeah, no, it has been.
Let me just enjoy my porridge and listen to this anecdote.
I was just say I just had some bad news.
Oh, no.
It's not as bad. You know, I was saying my fence blew down a few weeks ago. I've been holding out, hoping my neighbour would kind of go.
I'm relieved that it's fence related.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be like medical. So your fence blew down?
Yeah, and my neighbour's not willing to split the cost.
Oh, my God.
So
why not?
They're never actually there that much. And I think it's a rented house as well. So she kind of went,
Who owns the fence?
It's a shared boundary.
What? So she's in favour of going open plan?
She just said, I can't be bothered to talk to my landlord.
Oh, right.
So I've gone, oh, good. Well,
would she knock down the adjoining wall between the houses as well? So that you could just all live as one happy family?
You say that. In my loft between the two houses, there is one brick missing where we can peer between the cavities.
Is it like shallow grave?
I haven't got a very powerful torch. I couldn't see that much when I did look.
So you got a torch and you looked through?
Yeah. I'm inquisitive.
Whatever tickles your fancy,
I'm
mate.
Inquisitive by nature.
Who is it? Give me the demographic of the person living next door to you.
Female, late 40s.
Oh, I was imagining a kind of saucy student luring you in by removing a brick at a time in an attempt to...
She might be doing an open university degree. I don't know.
You know, you never stop studying in life, do you?
Exactly.
Well, that's an interesting...
Well, it's an anecdote, isn't it?
It's an anecdote. It's an anecdote. It counts as a start, doesn't it?
Well, it better do, because we're starting.
Josh Widdicombe, XFM.
All twins reinterpreting Dido's Thank You. Quite a strong reinterpretation.
Almost completely different.
You wouldn't know it was the same song if they hadn't kept the name. With credit to them for showing their influences, I say. This is Josh Widdicombe on XFM, joined by producer Neil for Unfinished Business. Just wrapping up the problems from last week. What have we got, Neil?
You say last week, it's more than last month.
Are we looking at another morning of unfinished Ting Tings?
We are staring down that barrel.
One off-the-cuff reference, and we've built 2 months of broadcasting around it. They owe us, big style.
Well, we don't know what it's done for their streams or record sales, though, do we?
Record sales.
Yeah. All right, number one bit of correspondence this week. Hi, Josh. Despite living in New York City, I'm a big fan of the show, and it automatically downloads to my iPhone each week.
That sounds reluctant. What I dispute there is it slightly styles us as like U2, that most of our downloads are against their will.
No, people chose to hit subscribe.
Oh, right, okay.
And I'm all for it.
Can they unhit it?
Yeah, but don't.
If you download it and don't listen, we don't mind. Still counts. Just keep downloading, that's my view.
On multiple devices is good as well.
Oh, well, people should be doing that. Well, our whole show should just be a guide on how to download it more.
Shall I get through to this email?
Yeah, sorry.
Needless to say, I must stop listening to the podcast at the gym because there has now been more than one occasion where I've nearly injured myself. Now down to business. The Ting Tings, I generally try to avoid Williamsburg at all costs, but you might be amused to know that the rescheduled Ting Tings show has resulted in them booking another much larger gig in New York.
Maybe that's because of all the publicity we've been giving them.
Definitely. They're playing the legendary venue Webster Hall, and ticket prices are between $88 and $112.
No, that can't be true.
That's from Lindsay.
I think Lindsay's trying to... Because we've said we'll pay for someone to go to the Ting Tings to tell us what it's like. I think Lindsay's trying to pull a fast one.
That might include a meet and greet.
No, because I don't want the Ting Tings to find out what's going on. That literally, if it includes a meet and greet, the deal's off.
Well, Lindsay, it's up to you. Email back in.
Okay.
All right, email 2. Dear Josh, having listened to your latest Ting Tings obsession with interests, I feel like you've missed the ultimate opportunity to see the band in full swing in the format of a festival appearance.
More like.
Not being able to go to Glastonbury this year, my friends and I decided to broaden our horizons and travel to Budapest for the Zigit Festival.
The big one.
Imagine our surprise when the first acts to be announced was the one and only Ting Tings.
Wow.
We've already got tickets. I very much look forward to their performance and we'll be happy to report back.
Oh, there we go. Lindsay, the deal's off. No, but we want to see them in their own right. I'd like that report on Budapest, obviously. But we also want to see what they do when they're playing to their own people.
Okay, that was from Beth. Number 3, final bit of Ting Tings. Dear Josh, Neil and intern Charles, I'm a big fan of the show, long-time podcast listener, and as such, it would be remiss of me not to offer my services. I live in Chicago, where the Ting Tings are playing on the 4th of April.
Oh, God. Oh, well, that's not long away.
I'm willing to report back if you'd like. All the best, David.
Out of David and Lindsay, whoever gets in there first with an email will buy you a ticket to the Ting Tings, but you need to file at least 1,000 words on it. If you have any unfinished business about any of the topics we discussed today, josh@xfm.co.uk.
Josh Widdicombe. Podcast XFM.
That was the Smiths, Panic on Josh Widdicombe Show. Strange choice of song for the radio, that one.
It used to be the first song on another radio station I worked at on our emergency tape. So if the station went off air...
Really? What, as a kind of in-joke or just as a misjudgment?
I think it's a misjudgment.
I mean, we shouldn't be giving these people oxygen of publicity with these views, in my view. Today's topics, Neil. We're going blunt at the moment, aren't we? Being early or late stories. Just things that have gone wrong or right, I suppose, from being early or late. Being early, you wouldn't think it could go wrong. I don't know if you've... Do you remember the film Insomnia, starring Al Pacino and Robin Williams, and directed by Christopher Nolan?
No.
Set in Scandinavia somewhere. And it's neither here nor there. I went to see it at the cinema. And you know, you can be... Obviously, you can be as early as you want for the cinema. So I got my ticket, they let me in, and I thought, well, I'm not going to sit out here, I'll just go and sit in the screen and wait. So let me through, and I was surprised to see the trailers were already playing. What I was watching was the last 5 minutes of Insomnia, the previous showing. That shouldn't be allowed to happen. I mean, it ruined it.
Well, no, you watched it in a...
Well, yeah. Well, ironically, Christopher Nolan's previous movie had been Memento, so if it had been that, it would have felt very normal to me.
There you go, yeah.
Absurd. Don't be early, that's the message.
Very true.
Also, talking to yourself. Have you ever been caught talking to yourself or sleep talking? Do you sleep talk?
Not as far as I'm aware.
Have you ever been in the same room as someone who slept talked?
My...
Sleep talks.
Sleep talks. My brother sleep talks. I remember as a kid, him going on about he'd won something and he deserved to be on the podium or something like that.
Well, it's all often very dull.
Good topic.
Good topic. But it's in the mundanity that the interest lies.
Yes, very much so.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I think about if we've proven anything over 2.5 years, we're not dealing with the big topics. Do you talk to yourself?
Yeah, I talk to objects.
Which ones?
Well, at the moment, I've got beef with my kettle.
Have you?
Because it keeps turning turns itself off. So you'll put it on to make a cup of tea, and then you'll perhaps go to the toilet.
But everyone will do that. Go, come on, you effing...
No, but it doesn't. It just...
Kettle. Could just say that.
Could have done. The little switch you push down just flicks back up by itself for no reason.
You could counterbalance it with a kind of piece of cheese.
Potentially. Just very annoying.
I didn't think this was going to head in this direction, I'm not going to lie to you. So we've looked for stories of being late and early and talking to yourself.
Josh Widdicombe Podcast, XFM.
The Josh Widdicombe Show on XFM. I've realised we made a huge error producing it. We haven't done this in a while. We used to do this all the time, forget you existed, but I haven't asked you for your early or late stories. Ironically, I'm coming to you late.
I'm fairly punctual, but there was one time...
Well, I'm glad we went back to this then.
There was one time, the first of my friends to get married, we tried to be super organised and got a minibus there to the wedding. However,
how many of you?
There were 9 of us. However, we were so late, we had to basically ask the bride as she was about to walk into the venue to stop while we took our seats.
But you delayed the wedding?
Yeah.
Could you not just follow her down? Like Page Boys?
That's frowned upon.
Did it ruin her day?
No, I don't think so.
People are very on edge about it, things ruining their special day, aren't they?
Yeah. I mean,
when you got married, did you worry that everything had to go right?
No, not at all.
No, but you're quite laid back, aren't you?
My attitude was, if they don't want to be here, they don't have to be here, so they can just go.
That is your attitude to your wedding?
That was pretty much my attitude.
the nicest day of love and happiness. Was that one of the vows? That's astonishing.
That was how it was.
What do you mean? Was that on the invite?
No, not at all. But it was a bit like I think when we were talking about the seating plan and stuff like that, I was like, oh, you can't put them together. And I was like, well, if they don't want to be here, they don't have to be here.
So just go.
So just disappear or don't come. It's fine.
Just disappear. Well, there we go. I mean, that didn't go where I expected. And if anything, there's a hot topic for weeks to come.
Josh Widdicombe Podcast, XFM.
Verve, Bittersweet Symphony on XFM. This is Josh Widdicombe. Well, Henry Packer's here.
Hi.
You remember Bittersweet Symphony, presumably, at the time?
Lovely strings. What strings?
Excellent strings.
Incredible strings.
A man that probably doesn't remember it happening.
No, I clocked in for Ashcroft's solo work, but...
Did you?
But I've only learnt about the Verve retrospectively.
How are you, Mr. Graham?
I'm very good, although I've had a medical medical nightmare.
Are you okay to
I'm
proceed?
absolutely fine to broadcast.
Week 3 of your
but-
regular stint now.
No, I know, and it's like a bolt of lightning from the gods, as if to suggest that my regular presence on XFM is unwelcome. Do anything to stand in my way.
So what's happened?
I'm afraid I had to go to hospital last night in the early hours of the morning.
What time?
At 3 a.m.
Oh no!
But it's not for, I'm afraid, the most dignified or it's not filth.
Were you? Did you stayed up?
I was still awake, but I hadn't stayed up because I'd scheduled in an impromptu hospital visit at 3. I wasn't to know. I got back from my gig at about 2, and I went to bed listening to some music on my headphones, and I've got these headphones with the little soft buds at the end.
Oh no!
And one of them came off and became lodged in my ear, and I attempted to rescue it, and I've quickly worsened the situation. What I would say to anyone listening to this, if this does happen to, and I'm sure I'm not the first person to happen to, is it is possible to retrieve it yourself, but you really only get one shot. So plan that, and ideally, if you've got someone else to help you.
Tweezers. I was just thinking tweezers.
Well,
what did you use?
I didn't have just a good old finger, nature's tweezers.
Oh no!
But I didn't have anyone to help. My flatmate was asleep, and I didn't think it quite merited getting him up for. So I went on a couple of forums online, thinking it'd be a good laugh, sort of, leave it till the morning. And someone else, in a similarly sort of jocular, sort of carefree tone, and put one of these NHS boards. Got an earbud stuck in my ear. Lol, I can wait till morning, right, guys? To which 2 people replied in capital letters, "You must go to A&E immediately." Oh, no. And you could see him on the sort of board being like, "What? Really?" So I called up my local hotline.
Yeah, with your other ear to the phone.
With my other ear to the phone. I could still hear fine, but it's a bit like coming down off an aeroplane.
Right.
It's a bit buzzy. Also, I tried to get it out. I still don't really understand breath through one's ear. I held my nose and blew really hard. And on this option, I'm able to blow it out my ear, but I think it caused absolutely no dislodgement whatsoever.
Did you attempt to get angry so that steam would come out of your ears? You thought about injustice in the world.
So, having just got home, most people are rushed to A&E. I popped to A&E back on the same night bus that I just got home on. Had to wait for an hour, which is fine. But you're quite embarrassed because you want to get it sorted and go home again. But equally, you're aware that there are people in there with some very serious issues. Yeah. And you're sitting there with the most trivial problem in the world. At one point, I heard a nurse say to another nurse, he's broken 3 of his fingers and he can't remember his own name. So I'd spent the whole trip there thinking about what the special procedure was going to be. And I said to her, are we going to be using some sort of suction device? And she went, no, just tweezers. And she got it out so embarrassingly quickly.
Oh, no.
So less than a second. Went home.
So this leaves us in the situation. You each week you're going to bring your own topic because you don't feel ours are good enough.
Well, no, I can provide my unique spin.
So what have you got for us this week?
I've got the most embarrassingly trivial thing you've gone to doctor or A&E about, and I've got a mixture of.
Well, we'll come to this.
Serious, yeah.
A mixture of
some people who look like they've broken fingers and forgotten their own names.
Josh Widdicombe podcast. XFM.
Distant past, everything on XFM. Ivo Graham is here.
Hello.
Henry Paker is still here.
Hi.
Ivo Graham, you've set your own text topic.
Yes.
How has it worked out for you?
It's
better than last week where you got one text.
Yeah, but that one text was amazing. Whereas this is sort of strength in numbers, but no one really rising above the pack. And also people sort of don't get sort of trivial. One man, Mr.
Give me the topic.
Stuart, I put most embarrassingly trivial thing you've gone to doctor or an A&E about, brackets, no filth, please. And Michael Stuart Wallace has replied, tried to be like Ronaldo playing football, ended up breaking my arm. Which is a very serious thing to happen. I got my thumb stuck in a can of Dr. Pepper. I like that.
Yeah. Why are you putting it in there in the first place?
Well, that's yeah.
What's the way buying Dr. Pepper?
Because it's the best soft drink on the market.
No.
It's very nice.
It's no Rio, mate. Let's not get involved in this.
Okay.
I brought this up about a year ago. I still get the odds tweet sending me a picture of a Rio can.
Amazing. Well, if people want to send me pictures of Dr. Pepper cans, or just Dr. Pepper cans, that would obviously make my life about 10 times better.
Have you been to a hospital for a minor incident?
Oh, I've had a few stitches. I had stitches put in for playing Knockdown Ginger and falling over.
What's knockdown ginger? You knock and run?
Correct.
Mm.
but it's a slightly more middle-class version.
Is that not what people call it?
I think it is.
Knock and run is what I would call it.
Knock and run.
Knock and run? Yeah, that sounds like a serious crime. Yeah.
Isn't that how Tupac Shakur was killed? Knock and run gone wrong.
I don't think of the 4 people in the world to speculate about how Tupac Shakur was killed. I don't think us 4 are going to, really get to the bottom of
Can
that.
I just say, Suge Knight?
I don't even know what that means.
Do you not?
No.
He was the guy fingered for the crime in the Nick Broomfield documentary.
Correct.
But we couldn't possibly say. Mainly for our own safety. If you
Yeah.
want to say that, Henry.
Oh, God. I'll spend the next
I
few
don't
weeks
think anyone
taking
killed him.
the back exit out of the XFM offices for fear of being struck down by another Charing Cross Road drive-by. I don't want to think about it.
Well, Ivo, it hasn't worked out for a second week, but
Oh,
keep
no,
on
come
trying.
on. How about this one? Joe Stevenson had worms.
Josh Widdicombe, XFM.
Depeche Mode, Personal Jesus on XFM. Neil, what are you doing? Eating a digestive.
Well, I was opening my packet, yeah.
Opening your packet. Have a digestive. Sit back and enjoy. It's
Anyone else?
hypothetically speaking. No, all right, don't.
I've still got 2 queued up on the table.
Right. It's pretty rock and roll on a Sunday morning on XFM. Each week, well, we've had a couple of weeks off, but we're back. Hypothetical situation, how would you deal with it? This week, I was discussing, starting today, you're employed, it's September the 1st, you're teaching year 11 at secondary school, one subject.
Absolutely brilliant. Yes.
Which would you choose and how would you approach it? Year 11, 16. So
Home ec? I don't know.
you'd go cooking.
Yes.
Oh, I was going to take cooking, darn.
So how would your first lesson begin?
Just realised I can't cook anything. Let's immediately back out of that. Second choice, Latin. Home ec or Latin? I
You'd
think.
go Latin.
No, even that. I think it's a bit rusty. My Latin.
Okay, so what we're going to do, we're going to assign you drama.
Okay.
I want you to talk me through your lesson plan for the first lesson.
Brilliant.
Ivo, beginning.
Well, I think you could fill up quite a lot of time. How long's the lesson?
An hour.
An hour. Oh dear. Warm-up exercises. You can do as many of those as you want. Trust exercises. I reckon you get at least 20 minutes out of that, I think.
Would you operate a shoes off policy?
Absolutely. Shoes off and any jewellery, obviously, as well. Partly because the dancing drama might get a bit physical, and partly because you want to equalise the group. You don't want people flashing their bling when you're trying to do Shakespeare, or any of the
major playwrights.
any of the major playwrights.
Henry.
I could do drama. I would say today we're starting with one of the greatest dramatists of the 20th century, Harold Pinter.
Oh yes,
Famous, of course, for his pauses.
yes.
I would start by demonstrating a 40-minute pause.
Do you think that would keep them in order?
I think it would. An extreme pausing.
Extreme pausing. Yeah. What about gymnastics?
No, I wouldn't go anywhere near. I mean, all of these things you could sort of get away with by just not taking any part yourself and just telling people to.
Well, for instance, if you were doing the high jump, you'd have to take part to demonstrate.
Right,
you?
well, that's immediately off because the high jump is the thing I've embarrassed myself at most.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I once entered the school high jump to score points for my house, and on the lowest bar setting, I jumped into the bar in front of the whole school and was laughed at almost as much as when I did the shot put.
Have I ever talked about when we did the hurdles at my school and someone mistakenly put the hurdles out the wrong way?
Oh, no.
So the legs were, rather than on the side of the runner, the legs were on the other side. So the hurdles were basically an immovable object.
Oh my goodness, that would be. It doesn't bear thinking about.
But
But I am.
The thing is, children are so good at quickly identifying your weakness, aren't you?
Yeah.
In the teacher.
Or weaknesses.
Exactly.
Okay.
And this happened with us, actually. I don't know if you can spot the weakness, but we had a new Latin teacher at school, and he came in and he introduced himself as Dr. Pratt.
Oh no.
And so we instantly pounced on it. All we did for the rest of the lesson was constantly ask him to remind us what his name was. Sorry, what was it again? It was Dr. Pratt. So how was that? Was it Prot? No, Pratt.
Oh no.
That was 40 minutes.
It comes to so. I mean, I'd say it's a summation of today's Britain that You can book 2 guests and both of them will have studied Latin.
Are we going to keep talking about Tupac Shakur with our Latin knowledge?
I'm trying to talk about Tupac Shakur. You're talking about your Latin teachers. What is going on? This is Gavin James, The Book of Love.
Josh Widdicombe. XFM.
More or less coming to the end of the Josh Widdicombe show on XFM. What a sad time it is. Ivo Graham eating his digestive.
I'm
Henry
loving
Paker
it.
smoking his electronic cigarette. Neil, he's still got a banana. So, there's still fun to be had. One more email. I think in the spirit of our highbrow discussions of hip-hop, I'm going to start reading this email. And any of you can stop me if you spot the huge error they have made.
Is this just quickly about medical things?
No.
Oh, sorry.
Why?
Because someone said that he's emailed you with a story that's too long to fit in a tweet, which is always a...
Oh, could you quick... we'll do it next week if it's good. I'm going to read out this email from Timothy. Stop me if you spot a faction accuracy.
Hang on. Oh, I've already spotted one. Is this about rap?
Yeah.
It's from someone called Timothy.
It's about Latin.
Okay. I like it.
Absolutely brilliant.
Whilst at home during a break from school, I was writing a substantially sized essay for a course I was studying. Whilst doing this lengthy challenge, I had my iTunes on shuffle. And around an hour went by, and then suddenly, Ice Ice Baby by the contemporary musician Ice Cube came on.
He's not a musician. What's the
Ice Ice Baby was by...
Vanilla Ice.
Yeah.
And he's not contemporary. It was in the 80s.
Well, it's not by Ice Cube, mainly.
I know. Why is Timothy trying to ruin our show?
yeah.
Do you want the end of this anecdote that, for me, has been invalidated?
Yes, no, exactly. Well, how can we believe anything anymore?
I proceeded to rap the song from start to finish using a water bottle as a microphone. At the end of the song, I got up from my chair and then said, "Thank you, Madison Square Garden," and bowed. With once again a faction accuracy. I doubt Vanilla Ice ever played Madison Square Garden, did he?
Yeah, nor would he, finish his water and then thank them.
And he's a rapper. He wouldn't say thank you at the end, would he? He'd
No.
say something a bit more edgy. Like, up yours.
Yes, yeah. Ta-ra.
Is that what you say when you're really in a mood with someone?
Absolutely. Yeah, I do the classic thumb to my nose, waggle my fingers, ta-ra or ta-ta, and then leave the room quickly.
Josh Widdicombe. XFM.
Vance Joy, Riptide, more or less bringing an end to the Josh Widdicombe show. Time for, as a thank you, people to plug anything they want to plug. Neil?
Listen to all the wonderful podcasts XFM do.
Bit vague.
Well, this one, Ellis and James, John Robbins, Tom Crane Story Show.
Let's not plug that one.
Okay.
Well, you give these people a start on this show and then they go off and form their own podcast. Who do they think they are? How's your podcast, Ivo?
I haven't got a podcast. I've stayed loyal to the mothership.
Anything to plug?
I'll use my plug space for a shout-out, I think, to Alexandra Deering, the A&E nurse, my Florence Nightingale. I thought that headphone was going to be in there forever, but you gave me 5 minutes of your time, and I really appreciated that on a busy night in A&E. I'm also doing Work in Progress at the Hen and Chickens in Islington on the 12th and 30th of March.
Is that for her?
No, but if she...
In case you get the microphone stuck in your mouth.
I think just getting Ivo to say plug is a bit tactless, considering what's just
No,
happened.
Anything to plug, Henry?
I will plug a new series of small scenes, radio sketch show on Radio 4 coming soon, and I am doing some sort of gig at the Soho Theatre in May sometime.
Oh,
I
good.
don't know when, though.
Well, come back then, and then you can plug it properly.
Super duper.
There we go. For next week's Unfinished Business, Neil, the topics we are looking for emails on that we have covered are as follows.
Ting Tings, the film Insomnia, Safari / the web browser Safari. Do You Know Josh? Tony Robinson, Suge Knight, teaching drama.
Josh Widdicombe. XFM.